the co-founder and president of RebuildTheDream.com. Get over there, check it out. Van Jones is with us, back on the program.
I'm glad to be here. It's
Great
such an honor. Now, I want to say something now. You were the first national media figure to embrace this cause of taking all our economic fights and putting them under a common banner that we're defending the American dream, not having the veterans over here by themselves and having the foreclosed victims over there and the unions over there, but put everybody together and have a common banner that we're all defending the American dream. That's what we're doing. Yeah. And because we were able to get a little bit of attention from this program, and I don't know if your viewership and listenership understands how strong they are. Every time we would come on your show, our numbers would go up, our membership would go up, people would get more active, more involved, and now here we are with almost 2,000 people here in D.C. Stuff's going on Wall Street, so inspiring. And here inside of the four walls of this conference center, we just had about 30 national leaders stand up and commit that we're going to function now as one movement going together. So it's a really extraordinary opportunity.
So that was the keynote speech you gave this morning.
Yeah. I mean,
Tell us about it.
Well, we have reached out to about 70 organizations. And we said, how could we be so full of hope just a little while ago and now be so heartbroken, but skip the fight in the middle? It's one thing if you...
What happened to that? What happened to that?
It's one thing if we had put millions of people in the street and gotten beat. It'd be one thing if we were doing sit-ins everywhere and gotten beat. It'd be one thing if we were doing teach-ins all across the country and gotten beat. But we went from hope to heartbreak, from Hopi to Mopey, and skipped the fight.
I think a lot of Americans said, hey, we elected a Democratic president, House, Senate, what's on TV?
Exactly. And so I think now we've learned that lesson. And you see what's happening with these young people and other struggling folks on Wall Street. And it used to be you say Wall Street, everybody would frown. Now you say Wall Street, everybody smiles. That shows you the power of the people.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I'm curious, you're not... we're talking with Van Jones, and you really need to check out this website. And if you're not a part of it, become a part of it. RebuildTheDream.com is the website. I do have that right, don't I?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
.com.
.com.
That's right.
And sign up and participate. This is an extraordinary opportunity. And if enough of us get on there right now, you can. Well, no, I regularly I do this, and we crash people's websites.
Well, it's a problem we'd be happy to have.
Honor,
one of the great things about what we're doing, we built RebuildTheDream.com as a backup center, a support center for this growing movement.
Yeah.
And so I'm the president of RebuildTheDream.com, but as I say, the American Dream movement is not owned by anybody, and movements don't have presidents, they have principles.
Yes.
And the people. And so we built this thing, it's a support center, we hope people will go and support. We've had 600,000 people go to that website, sign up to be supportive. In every congressional district we are now. We just launched in late June. There is such a hunger out there. When the Tea Party launched, it had 800 House meetings across America. People thought it was amazing. We had 1,597, 3 shy of double. Just to start, with no Fox TV, no Koch brothers money, just good programs like yours and grassroots, netroots, and we started out twice the size of the Tea Party. The media didn't say a word about it. The Tea Party got 50,000 people involved to crowdsource their jobs agenda. We didn't have 50,000 people when we did it. We had 131,203, almost triple the number of the Tea Party participants. Again, with no media hype, just hard work of organizing. Yeah. And so now, like I said, we have 600,000 people. They've all signed on to get work done. We want to double that number. We're talking about running American Dream candidates to begin to not just take back the House, but to begin to take back the state houses and the dog catcher, whatever else. People who believe in the middle class, people who believe in the institutions that made our country great, people who don't think our grandparents were stupid when they created Medicare and Medicaid, Social Security. We have not been able to find each other since the 2008 campaign. We've been scattered to the winds. And so now we are reforming and coming back together, the same coalition, the same forces that beat Karl Rove and beat the McCain team and put America on a positive track. Those are the forces that are now coming back together under this banner of the American Dream movement, and we are not going to be stopped. And this time, it won't be about a politician or a party. It's going to be about principles and the people.
In 1798, Thomas Jefferson wrote a famous letter, famous long after he was dead, actually, because it was to be kept in confidence. about his disappointment with the Adams administration that he was the vice president of. And the letter had this phrase, the time of the witches will pass over and their spells will be broken, which is the famous phrase from it. But at the very end he said, "For this is a battle where principles are the stake." In other words, it wasn't about his presidency, it was about principles. And you're the first person in all the, I mean, I wrote about that in What Would Jefferson Do 15 years ago, in a book I wrote about Thomas Jefferson's, and I'm just, yes, you got me. Okay, so let me ask you, Van Jones.
Sure.
There's the inside game and there's the outside game.
That's right.
And there are some among us, and I hear them all the time calling up saying, forget the inside game, forget about politics. They're sellouts, blah blah blah, quack 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 quack. And then there's just do the outside game. Just be in the streets. And then there are those who say, those in the streets, they're not going to do anything unless we take over politics, and really we need to be completely on the inside. I personally think we need to be doing both. I'm curious your take on this and how rebuildthedream.com builds into this inside-outside game.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Most people are pretty smart. And people like to argue with each other online and kind of say certain things, but most people are pretty smart. We know now that without a mass movement, we're going backwards, not forwards. We know that. And we know that the White House is not going to build a mass movement. It's not their job. I hear they have a country to run. So we're going to have to build a mass movement. And in that, we are in good keeping with our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents who built a movement. They didn't wait for LBJ to build the civil rights movement. They built the movement that then let LBJ sign those bills. FDR didn't lead the labor struggles that led to the New Deal. The labor movement got out there and fought. Even Abraham Lincoln didn't lead the abolitionists. That was Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman.
In fact, he was opposed to the abolitionists.
Exactly, he was opposed to the abolitionists.
Until after his presidency began.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we know is that we're smart enough to know in America, and our history confirms this, that you have to build mass movements. You have to be involved. You have to take it to the streets. You have to do the sit-ins. You have to speak out for truth. You have to bring the artists in. You have to touch the conscience of the nation. But we also know that if we hand over the keys to power to people who will not be touched by our movements no matter what, who would rather shoot us down in the streets than actually listen to the voice of the people, that's a mistake. And so what we have to be willing to do is to do both. And we have to be, our children's lives are at stake here. And when something happens to your child, you don't say, well, what's the one thing I'm going to do? You say, I'm going to do everything I can to save my child. We have to do everything we can to save this country.
Yeah, so well said. Our children, our grandchildren, and the 7 generations hence.
Exactly.
To quote the Iroquois Confederacy.
And this is our turn. I mean, if you see what's happening now with those young people and struggling folks on Wall Street, and you see what's happening in this conference, the spirit in this conference, the enthusiasm. People were depressed just 6 weeks ago, depressed, morose. You couldn't get anybody. People are breaking through the depression now, and they are standing up, and we are going to defend the American dream. We're going to take it back from these dream killers. We're going to get back on the road we were on in 2008, but this time people-powered, people-owned. It will never be taken from us again. This is our movement, and we are going to take this country to the next century. Yeah,
and it has been, this is the fulfillment of the ideals of the founding of this country.
Exactly.
The idea but
yeah, liberty and justice for all. How
there
about
you
that?
Go. Yeah.
How about that?
Van Jones.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
much. Appreciate you.
Great work you are doing.
Thank you for believing in us.
It is an honor to have you on.